types of things.
I wouldn't have known how to do that. No. You shut my door? You want to leave Bruce Wayne out there, or does he need space? Hello, everyone. If you are joining me this evening, we're going to get started in a couple minutes. Just thought I'd let a couple people kind of roll into the live stream or the chat. It's kind of last minute, if you will. I wasn't really able to advertise it too much. Okay, Biggs. Yep. Come on up. No, good boy. Yeah, good boy. Okay. Oh, you big bear. You're my big bear. But we are going to do a YouTube Live this evening. Probably chat for about 30-45 minutes. Had a bunch of you guys throw in some topic suggestions over on Instagram. As you're entering in the chat, throw on in what you had for dinner this evening if you ate dinner. I apologize in advance. I am got my glasses on tonight. We already took the bra off. Very informal live here, nothing fancy. Oh, let me make sure the mic is down in my sweatshirt. Probably helps if I have it in a good spot for you guys. Let me know how sound and everything is. I do plan on watching Big Brother tonight. The finale is on tonight, The Beck Life, so definitely get caught up. All right, hopefully volume's good. Again, apologies. Ooh, the glasses. Reflection is real. Let me know if that's distracting. I really can't read that close up, but I will take off my glasses if it is super distracting. I normally wear contacts, but decided to wear some glitter eyeshadow today, which always ends up working against me. It falls into my eye and usually like rips my contacts. I have super dry eyes, so. Hopefully sounds okay. I got home from work. I had to feed the dogs and feed myself, so I kind of had a quick dinner myself. I had these cauliflower breaded chicken tenders I bought from the grocery store. Where'd I get them from? Wegmans? I don't know. I heard they were really good. They're only okay. I feel like you can make your own healthy chicken tenders better. Like, you don't need cauliflower chicken tenders. Nonetheless, they were a quick option I could throw into my air fryer. Those are gonna drive me nuts. So I had those with some sauteed veggies and avocado, which was rather delicious. Beef pot roast. That sounds perfect. Yeah, it was literally like, see, I can't read your comments now. It was like 50 degrees this morning. So the dog's paws were like all muddy and disgusting. And then I get home from work and it's flipped the script. New York State goes up and down within a day. It's now 20 degrees out. The ground's froze over, which is perfect for the dog feet, but definitely still in cold, cozy mode, which is why I am in the sweatpants. I was freezing at work all day. There was like no heat on at work. Buckwheat groats. Tell me more. That sounds fantastic. Veggies, chicken breast, tomato paste, and seasonings. Yum. I need you guys to cook for me. Sounds fantastic. So, welcome everyone tonight. Thank you for joining me. Like I said, a little last minute. I was uncertain. I do try to do a video once a week for you guys, but this past weekend with the Buff Bunny collection launch, I was tired and I had like so much other stuff I had to get caught up on. Sorry, you ever get like eye crust? I can feel it there. I had so much other stuff I had to get caught up on. And I just really enjoy these lives. I enjoy interacting with you guys, answering your questions. I always get like some nutrition questions during my Buff Bunny Live as well. So I thought it'd be fun to just chit chat on here tonight. Ooh, congrats, Fallen Angel on signing up for a triathlon. That's a huge deal. Triathlons scare me. I've done marathons, but I'm not a swimmer. So major kudos to anyone that can do all the events between the swimming, the biking, and the running. That's a lot for you. But yeah, welcome. I did throw up there, I wanted to talk a bit about, you've already seen it posted everywhere. This came out late last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago now. It was like the beginning of February. It just came back through that Brittany Dawn was being sued by the Attorney General for Texas. Many people were already familiar with the story. This kind of came to light in 2019. So here we are 3 years later, and it now pops up in the news that she is being sued by the state of Texas. So I didn't want to have this conversation to really attack her. I don't know her personally, but I do think she needs to be, I don't want to say made an example of, but in a way, yes. I do think she is just one person in the entire fitness industry who did get caught, if you will. I think there's plenty more than just her that have done and are continuing to do the same thing that she has done. So that's kind of more so why I wanted to discuss it. I've had these talks before about finding the appropriate coach and how to go about doing that, but I do think it's an important discussion to be had. So I did see some other influencers discussing it this week on socials, and yeah, I don't know her personally. This isn't a personal attack on her, but based on all the information that came out, essentially she was really popular in the fitness world. I mean, she's not really doing fitness anymore. It looks like she kind of pivoted more to Christianity and her religion and kind of using that more on her platform. But at the time she was doing all fitness stuff. I even remember I don't know if you guys watched any of her videos. I wasn't like a huge follower of hers, but I did remember seeing, she did a video with Shane Dawson. If you guys know Shane Dawson, he's like the YouTube, I mean, he's friggin' huge. She did a video with him and like took him through a drive-through and helped him pick out healthy foods or something. So she was kind of getting her name out there, very, very huge following, and was selling meal plans, was selling programs. I don't know all the nitty-gritty details. I just know that there was like 4,000 complaints that came through against her about her services, either getting cookie cutter plans, I should say, not getting responses, or some allegations were not getting plans at all from her after purchasing. More recently, what came out with the lawsuit was her inadvertently, or I shouldn't say inadvertently, she was kind of marketing herself as being knowledgeable about eating disorders, and eating disorder treatment is what I recently seen. Feel free to throw it in the comments if you've followed this any closer. But something to do with eating disorders, and that it was actually harming people she worked with who did have eating disorders that came to her for guidance. And I have to say, when this came about, so this was 2019, and I have honestly I have a small platform comparative to your big Fitspos, right? They all know me, but I have a smaller following compared to them. And it was kind of funny because I saw the correlation after that all came out. You know, tea was being spilled, people were talking trash, people were calling her out to task. And we all know there's people that were doing the same old thing as her who are like, all of a sudden, shoot, am I gonna get in trouble? And I started having some people who were I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like people then became more choosy of what clients they worked with and started sifting through things a bit more. I had some, people recommend clients over to me or ask me, like, they knew I was an RD, would you work with this person? They have an eating disorder history, or they have issues with polycystic ovary disorder, things like that. I just felt like people all of a sudden were being more mindful when this came out. There are so many people making a killing off coaching, and it's a really interesting conversation to be had. I don't necessarily feel like everyone needs to be an RD to coach someone, but there does need to be parameters for how you're coaching someone and what guidance you're giving, and knowing when to refer out, knowing when it's out of your scope of practice, and knowing when to refer out. We have a lot of people that are just doing cash grabs, and I think it was super popular previously, not as much now, but I do think you still see it, where this used to drive me nuts. This was probably like 5 years ago. I must have followed everyone and their brother who competed on Instagram, because that's how I got started on socials. And I would see these people who did one competition. I don't care if they placed or not, regardless. One competition, and all of a sudden, yeah, I'll hit you up. Like, are you guys wanting meal plans? Do you guys want coaching? So, and they could make money off it, because people don't necessarily care about background or credentials. They care about, you got lean, I want to know your secret. If you could get that lean, how can you help me get that lean? I think sometimes people, regardless of how smart they are, their education is, they kind of throw logic out the window. And quite honestly, some people just don't care about their health at the time. They don't care about long-term health, long-term ramifications. They don't really, some maybe don't even care if they get a cookie cutter approach. I do feel like a lot of onus is still on you, on me, as any of us as consumers for products we're purchasing. I think you have to do your due diligence. It's just like me going to a doctor. I'm not going to go to a doctor who's going to take care of my health that I feel like doesn't have the proper credentials. Like, I'm not going to go to someone like that. So really doing your part to ensure you're seeking help from the right sources, right? But I do feel like it was just so saturated at that time. Not enough people were talking about who could and could not prescribe a meal plan, right? I feel like people who kind of developed their business out of this in social media got smart, learned from this, and got an RD on their staff. So that's the one common thing I see right now from fellow Fitspos who make a living out of fitness plans and health coaching and group programs. I'm honestly all good with that. I do appreciate that they are now bringing on RDs to say my programs are all looked at by an RD. The RD does all the nutrition counseling and coaching. Yes, yes, yes. That is what you should be doing. So I'm not here to say that anyone who has the business of helping folks reach their goals, whether it be health or weight loss, has to be an RD, has to be a doctor. No, but I do think if you are going to start giving specific nutrition advice, that's a fine line. And I think people just feel like they can't be held accountable. Let me just put a little disclaimer in my Gmail stating, I am not a doctor nor a dietitian, so please run all this guidance by your doctor. I'm not sure that that'll hold up in the court of law, okay? I'm really not sure if it will. There's something called liability insurance that most practitioners should have. I don't know, just I'm reading over your comments to see what you guys kind of think about this, if you've followed it at all. I don't know anyone who is personally affected by Brittany Dawn. Here's the other thing. I'm not taking her side, but I do believe in cancel culture, and she really did kind of have a big presence on social media, quite polarizing. I think people have always had a lot of opinions about Brittany Dawn for whatever reason, and sometimes, when people attack, everyone else jumps in. So was everything valid, or were people just jumping on the hate train? Honestly, I don't know. I didn't take enough time to really dive into that. I believe there was a whole Facebook group of everyone's complaints. So I didn't really care enough to go snooping in that manner, but I do think that people were definitely impacted. Do I believe there were hazards to people's health? You know, I think about this all the time. Honestly, this is one of my biggest things about online coaching people versus meeting in person, because I've been doing online coaching for a while as an RD. And hey, Layla Kraus, fellow RD here, love your content and ready for trash talk. Love to have you here. Love it when fellow RDs follow along. I feel like as RDs, we need to be more united sometimes, even if our approaches or opinions maybe vary. That's a talk for another day, but were people's health harmed? I worry about this all the time because I am someone that I think about what I say to people when I'm typing over email. You know, I'm not doing virtual, I'm not doing webcam stuff. I'm literally like a coach that like we're emailing back and forth, right? So things could get taken out of context very easily. Communication could easily not be clear, right? If it's not super detailed on both parties. So I'm always worried about how is someone going to take this. I've been coached by multiple people, and I have felt like some of the things that I've had coaches do or tell me to do have impacted me. But I do take responsibility on my end because I know I'm a sensitive person. I know how things impact me. And at the end of the day, I take full responsibility for my own actions, right? So if I signed up with a coach who told me to eat 800 calories a day, am I going to come back a month from then and like try to sue him to say he harmed my health? I feel like, no, I have to take responsibility that someone told me to eat 800 calories and I decided to take their word for it and I chose to do that. So I am very interested to see where this goes in terms of Texas suing her. Do I support Texas suing her? I do. I think something needs to be done about people working out of their scope of practice. I maybe would have even more issue with this if I was a full-time entrepreneur. I'm not at the time, but I may be someday. And it bothers me to know that there are people who are out there, and I see it a lot from like the entrepreneurs on social media. Like there's people who don't know as much as you, but they took the chance and they're doing it. Good for them, but again, there is this line I feel like that should be drawn when it comes to giving people medical advice, health advice. I just think some people need to have a better screening process in place to ensure are you really working with a quote unquote healthy individual before you start working with them. These are things I think do need to be looked at more, and people have been able to get away with this for so long. I competed, I got lean, let me send you some macros and charge you $100, all right? A lot of that is still being done. And some people, working with a registered dietitian can be expensive, depending on who you choose to work with, can vary in cost. And some people will just go with the cheapest option, you know? Yeah, I did hear she kind of switched over to a Christian influencer, which looks like she now does retreats or something that she also charges a set fee to attend. So she's still banking in that coin one way or another, but it doesn't look like she discusses this scenario much. I did see the interview she did about this. She was on like Good Morning America or whatever. And I know she felt like she was in uncharted territory in 2019, being an influencer doing programs. I kind of don't feel like that's accurate. Like 2019, Instagram started in 2012. I will say, you know, doing online practice or coaching or helping people has become way more popular in the past 10 years, even more so the past 5 years, right? So I will say that. But I don't think you can just claim like naiveness that you're the first one to dive into this territory and have no resources at your access, have no tools to access to really know how to do this correctly or whether or not you should be, right? I mean, She literally has no credentials. I'm not sure what her credentials would be to help people to lose weight. Newsflash, just because you've lost weight and just because you're a skinny bitch now doesn't mean that you are an expert and should be giving advice to other people. I'm sorry. I think consumers need to quit buying into that. The second people see someone lose weight, tell me your secrets. I need to know. They look at you like you are God. Thin privilege, you are treated differently, you must know something or hold some magical power I don't know about. Like, when are we gonna wake up? Some of the best registered dietitians, the smartest ones I know, would never in a million years be your body inspiration, all right? It doesn't matter. Like, we should not be, I get you want to work with someone who looks the part, yes. But this girl, I don't believe she had any knowledge. If you guys know, let me know down in the comments. But oh geez, yeah. Lisa Cromie, thank you for subscribing. Shout out, always appreciate it when you guys do subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you so much. I agree, ignorance is not a defense, Morgan. I think you're smart enough, you were making plenty of money. I believe she was taking tons of trips at the time and living a lavish life from how it appeared on social media. So she didn't think twice about benefiting from it all. Yeah, Diane, I did not know she made a video about it. That's disgusting. I did hear about what happened with her dog, and I can't even personally comment on that. It sickens me. My tender boy, Bruce Wayne, is chilling in here with me on the couch. If he was ever in any kind of distress, he will go to the vet, and both of our dogs have health insurance, so it's very pricey, but we do that for a reason. Yeah, here's the other thing. Yeah, we do have plenty of people trying to coach people who have obvious eating disorders. I feel like this is very common with dietitians as well. But I've seen a lot of that as well. And again, just because you've personally experienced something doesn't make you an expert on it, whether it be eating disorder, whether it be addiction, gambling, any of those things, traumas, any of that. It doesn't make you an expert on it to help other people. I think it's great if you've dove into your own experiences and learned more about yourself. You know, there's things I've learned on my personal health, fitness, nutrition journey, self-love, all that. And you guys know that's what I do on this channel. I share what I do, what I've learned, what I've overcome. But that's not how I implement practicing and working with someone. What has worked for me isn't necessarily going to work for someone else, nor is it even applicable. Everyone kind of needs to be handled uniquely. And it's just such a specialty, trying to help people, to counsel people, to work with them, to really help them make like long-term lifestyle changes. And what you see from a lot of the fitness coaches are people just aiming to get quick results. Like, they want their before and afters. That's one of the things that you see from the so-called like master group, whatever, master class people on how to be an entrepreneur, is have your client testimonials. Nothing wrong with having client testimonials, but there needs to be more than before and after photos, because that doesn't really tell a whole picture. I've done workout programs where the before and after photos will blow you away. But what you don't know with those before and after photos is that none of those people maintain those results. Like, literally none of them. And this is a Buff Bunny hoodie. So I'm kind of like hopping around here on this topic, but there's just so much to discuss with it. And I can't say it enough to just be mindful of who you're paying for services. Like, just because, and I've heard this example too, you know, a lot of people speak about their mental health and their mental health struggles, right? And overcoming them and what they've had to do. Now, just because you're someone that's maybe struggled with mental health issues, whether it be depression, anxiety, bipolar, you name it, and you feel like you're in a good place with it, does that mean that all of a sudden you're an expert on mental health and that you can now start your own program on how to coach other people on mental health? I've seen this too, all right? if I need help with my mental health, I'm going to a psychiatrist and or a psychologist amongst other professionals. I am not going to check out my local Fitspo, or not Fitspo necessarily, but whoever on Twitter or TikTok or Instagram who says they've, been able to cure their mental health. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like the same distinction is not there when it comes to nutrition. People look at someone, see how they look. If they look fit and shaped, they have abs, they're doing all the things, all of a sudden they're an expert. We take their word for it. So shame on us too, right? Do you guys agree with me on that? We have to take some responsibility. Yeah, so we've got Erica Hope in the room, who's a psychologist specializing in eating disorders. That's fantastic. That is the type of folk you need to be working with here for eating disorder treatment, not an online coach. That's one of the things I screen for. Sometimes if you've had a history of it, depending on how long ago, if that comes up at all in your screening form for me, I won't even touch you. I don't touch you. That would be inappropriate. But I will not take you on as a client because I do not feel, for the services I offer at this time, that it would be appropriate, that I could appropriately do my due diligence according to the code of ethics to provide you with the best level of care. I don't need the money. That's not why I do it. It's more important to me to make sure I'm doing the proper service. And for me, it's a very special clientele that I can work with on an online basis. So the fact that she was just openly like, hey, I can help you with eating disorders, out of your mind, Brittany Dawn. I do feel like you can't claim ignorance on that one. Yeah, and there are so many impressionable young people out there who probably looked at her YouTube and profile, or maybe still do, that she's pretty, has it all together, she's thin, she has an aesthetic Instagram feed, all the things, and seek to be like that, We were all impressionable at some point in our lives, but just really scary. Quick search looks like they're seeking, oh, I did see that. Brian P. wrote, quick search looks like they're seeking $250,000 to $1 million in damages. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too, that's probably based on the profit, based on what she was charging people and how many people she worked with. And if she was just doing a cut and paste program for people, there are some people that do group programs where it's like you do it as a group, so you kind of are given like generic guidelines. I think that can be okay, depending on the context of what the program entails. But it sounds like it was like each other person like either was getting the same exact program with minimal, like I guess if she responded to them, it was like, you go girl, or like a one-liner, like there was no actual assistance going on. It didn't sound like she was really holding up to what she was offering in her program, or people just weren't getting the program at all. So I wonder if they did some kind of estimate based on the people that complained. I don't know, but I hope she's got that money to cough up. Or actually, I kind of don't. Like, go to jail for a bit, maybe. I doubt it, but it would be very interesting to see how it turns out. Yeah, there's just something very superficial about that whole situation, which is why I was never a huge fan myself, but yeah, and I'll be honest with you guys, I've had probably in my time of online coaching, how long have I been online coaching for? Probably since 2015, maybe a little bit earlier. I can't remember. Bruce Wayne is like totally snoring right now. I've had one or two situations where the client felt like this wasn't exactly what I was looking for at this time, and they were unsatisfied. And I was like, if you are unsatisfied, money back. Like, I'm not here to dupe anyone ever. Like, I had someone sign up with me and I was going to send them their program on the weekend. And I think that's how specific I was, which now I've learned my lesson. I give you a date, you will have it by. But I think I said I'd send you your plan on the weekend. And it was literally that Saturday evening. We hadn't even gotten to Sunday yet. So maybe weekends are different for everyone. And she did like a Google thing saying like the service was not fulfilled. Like, I don't know what you can do in Google, whatever it is, Google, PayPal or whatever, something like, kind of like a fraud. Like, I didn't fulfill her service. I'm like, excuse me, that's not true. Your service is being fulfilled this weekend. What are you talking about? She never emailed me back, refused to email me back. And I said to Jason, I was like, you know what? I don't even care because I don't want to work with someone like that. Like, what are you doing? I'm wondering if she panicked, needed the money, probably needed the money more. I have no clue, but I just refunded her. I'm like, I'm not in the business to try to dupe anyone and take your money. I don't have time for that, nor do I care to. Yeah, I can't with the dog stuff, you guys. Like, I can't. Bruce Wayne's snoring back here. It would just hurt his little heart. I don't know. I feel like every time I've looked at her stuff, she has a different dog. One of them's died or disappeared. I'm not really sure. Ugh, that's so sad. But I think, unfortunately, what happens from researching true crimes and loving true crime so much, not that this is a true crime, but the legal system, if you will, is that any of this stuff, when it comes to the legal system, takes so long. So anytime you watch documentaries, I'm always like, holy crap, they were held in the jail cell for like 4 years till they actually went on trial. Like, this stuff just takes so long to actually go through and like figure out what is happening. So I don't know. It's 2019. We're in 2022. So it's been 3 years. They're now pressing charges. So how long is it going to be till we hear anything? I hope we hear something. She's clearly not going to talk about it. She's going to blame the devil or whatever she's doing. So I don't know what we'll hear or how quickly we'll hear. If they're now just pressing charges, it could be a while, which I just want people to understand. I want people to be scared a little bit. Is that wrong? Like, do you guys see where I'm coming from? I want people to use this situation to be a bit afraid, to rethink what they're doing, to ask themselves if what I'm doing is appropriate, or am I really offering the appropriate service? Am I going beyond my scope of practice? So she gonna let God handle it. All right, sister. You let that. Let's see how that works out for you. Oh, true. COVID slowed everything down, right? We all just lost, I feel like, 2 years of our life. A big blur. I feel like it's still 2022. Yeah, so that's kind of the tea spill, I guess, on Brittany Dawn. What's her name? If you guys don't follow, is it Sohi? She did a really good post on this. Sohi Lee on Instagram. It's Sohi Fit, SOHEEFIT. She's really good. She is a coach. She's a PhD candidate, very educated. I really like her approach on a lot of these trending topics. She really has a great way of presenting information, and she did do a little ditty on Brittany Dawn that was really interesting to hear. I really respect her opinion. I think she puts out good content. So I definitely recommend checking her out for someone positive and informative, very respectful as well, though. Like, she never says anything, she's never out there just trying to make fun of anyone in particular. She just really kind of puts things in a really good perspective to make you think about different sides of stuff. So I really enjoy her. Ugh. You know what, Morgan? I wonder if she does have a good attorney team. I don't know. She's probably still got a decent amount of money, I would assume, or who knows her financial situation, but I'm sure she'll, if she's able to ignore it and live this carefree without feeling the need to address it, then I don't know, she probably feels pretty comfortable with how things are going to play out. Yes, Bree just wrote it in the chat box, guys. So he fit. So she's really good if you don't follow her. Not a dietitian, but I follow a lot of non-dietitians that really enjoy her content. So yeah, so I don't really know what more to say about her. I think it'll be, I don't personally follow her. I think I used to. I think I did before the scam came out, and then I definitely like unfollowed for sure. But yeah, let's shift over into Jack's journey. Is anyone here? I know Brittany just mentioned that in the chat. Is anyone here follow Jaclyn's journey? Jaclyn Hill. She took a break from her journey over like the Christmas season. I don't know. She took like a decent chunk of time off, and she just did a recent video that I watched, and I thought it was really interesting. I haven't totally formulated my opinions on everything yet, but her main thing with her journey was honing in on her diet, getting herself in a healthier spot, reducing inflammation, feeling better about herself. And then when she came back, she really kind of talked about that alcohol has been a big problem for her. Not that she's an addict, but just more so that she became dependent on it for a coping mechanism, which, I mean, I guess it depends how you define addiction. I'm not sure how much she was consuming, but, you know, she said that was really her main issue. Any amount of stress, she needed to have a drink to cope with it. So she really wanted to focus more on not totally cutting it out, which I understand because she's like 30 years old, 31 years old. She's got a lot of celebrating, like her life is there's a lot of celebrating in her life by the looks of it. So I can see where that would be difficult to just totally say, I'm never going to drink again. But, you know, she basically summed it up that she was going to just try to reduce alcohol and not focus on her diet at all. And she, in fact, said her diet had kind of been crap, and that, you know, she was more so just focusing on not having the cocktails, but if instead she needed a candy bar or whatever it may be, she was going to have that. So just kind of like interested in your thoughts on all this. There is a part of me that I do firmly believe when you have multiple things going on in your life, and I feel like we oftentimes have an inability to accept this. But I get clients like this all the time. They come to me and there's literally 20 different things going on in their life, but they're like, I want to get stage lean, man, not to compete. I want to get down to 8% body fat. Like, how do I get there? What am I going to do? And I'm like, you have 700 things going on in your life with life changes. You're not sleeping. This is going on. Let's really think how realistic this is for you to focus on this goal to get that lean. I'm just reading your comments. So anyways, I really kind of commend her the fact that she wanted to take a step back and just focus on alcohol reduction, because quite honestly, if that is skating the line of addiction where it's kind of controlling her life, controlling her ability to be able to function normally and cope, then I do feel like that is the right move. I wouldn't necessarily put it in the context to be like, well, I'm throwing out the diet. To me, that tells me what she was implementing previously was not something she can sustain. If she's totally gone back off the plan, to say that, you guys are like, are you guys confused about who I'm talking about in the comments? I'm trying to keep up here. Okay. Anyway, so Jaclyn Hill, yeah. So it tells me that she was not adhering to a diet that she truly enjoyed. But I do agree, when you have something in your life like alcohol, she mentioned, you know, alcohol is a nutrient. It is all sugar for the most part. That's how it's digested. So having less of that, she very well could be craving sugar in other places in her diet. She was someone before that I feel like was not eating fruit for whatever reason, like weird things. She was also trying to not eat cheese and gluten and all that stuff. Now you're eating candy bars. I mean, I think that, you know, I would love to help that woman have a better balance, because I think that is part of her overall issue that does just add stress to her life. Like, I don't think she has a good concept of sustainable eating habits. I don't know in her life who is guiding her in that way. She certainly makes enough money to have her own personal dietitian living in her home, her own personal chef. I know her fiance seems to be quite the chef. But I do think that just, it goes to show what she was, in my opinion, it goes to show what she was doing before was not going to work for her if this is where she's at now. It could be the additional stressor of trying to work through cutting out the alcohol, not only from, there is a nutrition standpoint there, right? When you're consuming alcohol, the calories, the sugar, there's the social aspect of it. There's other things she's dealing with that maybe now it's turned into a stress eating situation. I'm not quite sure, but I do see very much so a bit of that all or nothing mentality. But I do feel like if you are someone that is on the cusp of an alcohol addiction, that should be your focus, secondary to I need to lose weight. But I'm also total person approach. You're trying to cut out alcohol because you want to have healthier coping mechanisms. Part of her coping mechanisms she's using food to cope, right? So I think it still goes hand in hand. I wish someone could help her with this. I wish that could be me. Could someone make sure she sees this video? I would love to help her, because I feel like there's just so many simple things that she could implement. Like, to me, she's like an ideal client, with the exception of the fact that she has such an unusual lifestyle compared to the average person, given her multiple businesses and the people that surround her and her access to things. It's just another level, probably comparative to you and I. But yeah, so she probably is going through some withdrawal right now, some withdrawal symptoms, making up for it with food, very similarly to caffeine, well, maybe caffeine, yeah, but nicotine addiction, right? You think about it. People give up smoking. I don't want to give up smoking. I'm going to gain weight, because usually they give up smoking, they eat more. Nicotine does impact your metabolism though, so that's a little bit differently. But sometimes we do replace one thing with another, which is what some of you are saying in the comments as well. So I agree, Autumn. So her boyfriend or fiance being a food guy, I feel like his food, like, it always looks good, but oh, what's his YouTube name? He has a YouTube channel too. But I don't know how much he really makes of healthy food or what he knows as well. But yeah, she has a whole freaking movie theater room with all that candy in there. If you guys watched that video, I mean, she just has access to everything. So I could see that being very difficult. You are living in all your temptations. You've cut out alcohol. So yeah, nicotine speeds up your metabolism. It reduces your appetite a bit too. So oftentimes people do, you know, you see a lot of, not everyone, that's generalizing, but a lot of smokers are not obese. Not always, but you notice when people quit smoking, they gain weight. Ooh, Andrea Archive, that's a good point. She does have a very anxious energy level about her, which she admits she's going to therapy and doing neurofeedback. Is that what she's doing? I think she said she's doing neurofeedback and maybe talk therapy. But yeah, she just seems very anxious. I want to be like, girl, like, live your life. You are a young lady. Enjoy everything you have in front of you. But I'm sure it's very hard running multiple businesses. I mean, I feel stressed out on the daily, and I don't have nearly what she has on her plate. But sometimes I just want to shake her and be like, lady, sit down, do a makeup tutorial, do what you're good at. That's what we're here for. That's what we want to see. And don't worry about explaining yourself to us all the time. Thank you, Tracy. For those of you watching, if you want to give this live chat a thumbs up, that always helps out. And if you guys want to make sure you are subscribed to the channel, let me know if you want me to do more of these live chats. I do enjoy doing them. I sometimes just make things up to talk to you about, like Jack's journey and Brittany Dawn came to mind because those are like two, I don't want to say fun things, but just more trending topics, right, to discuss. But I do like doing these with you guys where we just do Q&A or pick a topic and I ramble on about it. So, yeah, quitting cold turkey doesn't usually work, does it? I don't know. Have I seen anything different when they are obese and quit smoking? I would probably have to look into that, like from a research standpoint, because in who I've worked with throughout my life, I don't know if that's the case. I'm trying to think. I personally know a few people who probably are in the overweight, obese category that quit smoking and gained a ton of weight. Yes, Jaclyn Hill is just she's just got that personality. I just feel like, you know, there's a reason, sometimes I think to myself, there's a reason why I have, you know, my little following on the internet. I am who I am. This is what you get. Me and my sweatpants. I'm not out here talking all crazy and high energy. I think I have a decent energy, like, about me, but at the same time, I'm just not an over-the-top person. I like to think I'm funny, but... Anyways, my point was, Jaclyn is just very, like, bitch and drama and... Sorry, Bruce. I'm sorry, my love. I am too sorry. Yes, you're okay. Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. Anyways, I miss doing chats with Bruce in the room with me. My adventure to fit. Super disordered with fairly large following, basically taking keto to the extreme. And her 2-year-old eating keto. What? Oh my gosh. My adventure to fit. Why are we giving her a moment right now? But now I have to see if here's the thing. Oh, look, she came right up. Yes, she does have a big following. Public figure. 81 pounds down and no calorie counting. Good for you. You gotta tell me that's not real, that her baby eats keto. Come on, no. Like, what is wrong with people? Again, classic example. I don't know this girl. I'm judging. I only looked 1 second, but so you're 81 pounds down due to keto. What? You're an expert now? So now you're gonna share all your life advice and shame people who eat carbohydrates? Can't relate. Like, I can't get down on that level. What's your take on caffeine and adrenal fatigue? I think it's different for everyone, Brittany. That's a good question. Everyone's tolerance is different. Actually, Jay and I did, this was a while ago, but we did like some DNA testing that also, like, part of what it told you was your caffeine sensitivity level, which was really cool because I always felt like I had a really high tolerance for caffeine, and that confirmed it. But everyone's tolerance is a bit different. I think there is, you know, I don't even want to say like there's a set amount of caffeine you should stay under, but, you know, the people doing coffee, energy drinks, pre-workout, I've known people that have done like it all day long. Now, I'm someone that I like, does anyone have this piece of hair? Can anyone relate to what I like to call my skank strand? It's driving me nuts. She just doesn't want to hang out with the rest of the hair, and she just looks like a greasy little mofo sitting there, driving me nuts. But anyways, caffeine, I just feel like you have to be careful how much you're consuming. It's going to be a little bit different for everyone. I like coffee in the morning and a little bit of caffeine a little bit later. I personally try to keep it under 350 milligrams a day, but everyone's different. It's good to take caffeine breaks. I don't actively do them because people would get hurt, but I do think we shouldn't this is when it's hard that I do lives late because my words are gone. Sensualize? No, that ain't it. But I think some people make it seem great that they're drinking caffeine all day long. And I clearly don't think that's healthy. That's another thing we look for with people who just drink caffeine all day long in effort to decrease their appetite. Not good either. Oh wait, who got sued 3 years ago? The Keto girl? A keto birthday cake, that I feel like you should go to jail. You should go to jail for giving your kid a freaking keto birthday cake. That is ridiculous. My mom used to make the most high sugar cakes ever with like sweet and condensed milk poured into it and like Heath bar and whipped cream topping. It was, I think she called it like the heart attack cake or something, but it was so good. Keto cake, that's ridiculous for your kid. Do I recommend any specific brands of testing kits that tell you, what your intolerances or allergies are? In terms of intolerances and allergies for foods, environmental things like that, I do think just going to ENT is appropriate. I don't think you need to order something online for testing. I think your more accurate means are going to be going to an actual ENT. I went through this. What they do is they actually inject you with the most common allergens. It sucks, but they'll do like a whole test on your arm or your back, see how you react. That is going to be your most valid way of knowing. A lot of the kits that you measure at home for food allergies, I feel like are very variable. In that regard, I would refer you to an ENT in your area. Exactly. Everyone, I mean, people need sugar, okay? Yes, there's certain medical conditions where you need to be more mindful than others. I'm not saying eat cake all day long, eat candy bars and cookies all day long, but people kind of need to stop demonizing these foods. Like, just because you eat a candy bar once, you're a horrible person. You know, I've had people, they see what I eat, and if it's not super healthy, then they're like, you're a diet. I got this recently. You're a dietitian though, and you drink energy drinks? I mean, it was texted, so maybe she didn't say it that snotty. But I was like, yeah, I do on occasion. I feel like it's not the worst thing in the world I could be doing, but some people look at that and say, well, if you're doing that, you're an unhealthy example. Amanda Jean, isn't baby Heidi going through this right now, sort of? I'm not sure what you mean. Going through what? A lawsuit? If so, not to my knowledge. What do you know? Tell us the tea. Ooh, I love an angel food cake with whipped cream and strawberries. I haven't had that in so long. I love that. That sounds really good. Oh, mini bun cakes are so good. I think I have heard of Clean Eats. Are they any good? Yeah, that could be true too. I think people judge you to a more extreme level if they knew you competed before. Yep. Oh, sorry, Amanda. Yeah, I'm like, lawsuit? No, yeah, allergy testing. Yeah, actually, that's something hot, or like little fun fact. When Heidi and I became friends, it was over socials. It was talking about allergy testing. I don't know if you remember years ago. She's been going through this for all her life, right? But I think I wrote something regarding her allergy testing, and then we went back and forth because she was like asking me some questions about it with what they were having her do, and we got chatting and stuff like that. And I think I had sent her like one of my Buff Bunny reviews at the same time. So just like a little fun Easter egg for you. That is part of like when we started talking back and forth. But yeah, she does have like a lot of allergies. She posted on stories like she had a couple of those testing sites that looked real swole. Like she had some major allergies. So do you guys miss my recipe videos on the YouTubes? I honestly have been, since having COVID, well, I have to say when I was home with COVID, I did some good cooking because I was actually home. So Jason got the groceries and I was like, I'm gonna make tacos and I'm gonna make soup and I'm gonna make a casserole. Like I just made tons of good stuff, but I haven't actually been like filming any of that. Still getting my feng shui back on after being sick, like trying to get caught up on life. But I did used to do a lot of recipe videos, so I do need to get in a better flow with my meal prep. This is when I get kind of like, I think it's a seasonal thing for me. This is my excuse, but being New York and cold and blah and like feeling like there's nothing to look forward to. Is this my life? And it's so just gross out. I get in a funk with my food where I'm just kind of like, well, eat whatever. And I'm not super excited about it, which is okay. It'd be like that sometimes. But I definitely either need to kind of pick it up a notch, or I did this before where I ordered some like ready mood. This is when I need to calm it down. Ready-made food like Icon meals. I started doing that a bit. I've always wanted to taste HelloFresh. I've never tried that. I did lose my taste and my smell for probably up to a week. I think I fully have it back now, but that sucked because everyone was like, oh, must be nice to like lose your taste and smell. I'm like, yeah, it would be nice if I lost my appetite, but I didn't. I actually had more of an appetite because I couldn't actually enjoy the food I was eating because I couldn't taste it. So I was like, I'm not satisfied by any of this. So that's why I kept wanting like super salty foods and chocolate. Dietitian here. But I made tacos and I usually get like a low sodium taco seasoning. I'm like, I need the high test. Give me all the salty foods. Oh wait, but what's the tea on Bomar's supplement lawsuit? I didn't know anything about that. Someone spill the tea before we wrap up here. I do my daily harvest meals, but those are all vegan, gluten-free, real hearty ingredients, a lot of good stuff in there. But for me, those kind of supplement in, I always need other stuff with them. So like I still need proteins and other stuff like that. You hated HelloFresh, so are all the sponsored videos lying to us? Do tell. I just wanted to look up what the Bomar lawsuit was. Are they still doing like really well? Like, do people buy their stuff? Bomar Nutrition lawsuit just pulled up. A Neki company hit with $5 million lawsuit alleging consumer fraud. This is the article I just pulled up. I don't know why I'm holding up the phone. You may not be able to read it. The company has a federal lawsuit alleges Ann Kenny, I don't know what that company, I'm not familiar, it must be whoever Bomar works with, has defrauded consumers by overstating the amount of protein contained in their snack bars, fortified powders, and other products. The 12 plaintiffs are seeking class action status and more than $5 million in damages, alleging consumer fraud, deceptive business practices, and unjust enrichment on the part of Bomar Nutrition. Interesting. So I guess did this just come out then in 2021, or has this been going on for a while? apparently their protein is 60% less protein. So they're probably doing like protein spiking. That was like a big thing back in the day. I remember when Mark Loblerner called out a bunch of people. I'm surprised Mark hasn't done a video on this. I should send this to him. Maybe he has. Well, anyways, that's fun talking trash with you guys. Yeah, I've never tried Bomar's products. They reached out to me once when I was still working with MTS Nutrition. Can you guys see Bruce's feet moving? Probably not. No, the camera's too high. He's sleeping and his little feet are all dreaming away. He's such a little dreamer. But yeah, I never tried Bomar. They reached out to me when I was still working with Mark. So I was like, yep, no, sorry, I can't. And I'm glad I didn't, because it just seems like it's another one that I always hear drama and stories surrounding. I don't follow them. Yeah, there's been some shit in the media, and I'm a drama freak kind of gal. What? They got some other prison for illegal hunting? Yeah, they got some shit going on. I don't know nothing about that. See, I stay away from the drama. I mean, I'll talk shit about it on here, but I personally try not to live any of it. Oh, yes. So real quick before we go, number one, all the new things this week. Jason and I got Fitbits. We're Fitbit buddies. Jason's never worn a watch a day in his life. Fun fact, Jason doesn't wear a wedding ring, but he's very married, ladies. Joey Justice is out there with Jason, but we got these Fitbit Senses, the Fitbit Sense. I really like it. Jason and I really like these so far. The treadmill was delivered yesterday. I put it up on my stories. I did a run last night and it was hard. I have shin splints right now because my shoes are so old, but I loved it. And then your girl stuck to her word. I got up early this morning, 5 a.m., got on that treadmill. I did a 20-minute run this morning. Nothing crazy, but 2 days in a row. Proud of me. The treadmill is awesome. It actually seems really good quality. Like for me, running on a treadmill, I don't want to feel like I'm running on a treadmill. It can't be clunky or loud or, you know what I mean? Like I just want it to be like smooth sailing. And this feels really, really good. So I'm really excited. Tomorrow I'm actually going to go buy some running sneakers for myself. And I'm so happy. And a new phone. Wait, I didn't think you were getting it set up tonight. Yeah, and then Jason got us new phones too. Which new phones? You gotta turn me down. I'm going double time.
I'm actually here live.
I know. Look, I'm clear. This is Jason. Welcome to the live, Jay. Look at us. This is us. A little couple in our sweatpants. We put our glasses on at night. We let our titties hang out.
I don't got titties.
Ring Jason's ding-a-ling, if you know what's good for you. I do not. Well, okay, so yesterday, what the heck? This morning, I didn't have anything. I didn't even drink coffee, have a sip of water. I went down and did the treadmill. And then Jay and I went to the gym. And lately I have been doing my protein. Yeah, I've been doing my protein coffee. So my protein shake with my coffee. So not a ton of nutrition, but just a little bit of protein, carbs, a little bit of fat. And that's actually been going over really well for me in the morning. How dare Jason come in the room without the baby? Is the baby sleeping?
He's sleeping.
Oh, Jason put him through some drills, right?
Yeah.
He's tuckered out.
He's tired out.
Puppy wasn't getting his way, so Jason was like making him lay down and...
Not move.
Joey wants to know how retired life is.
Retired life's good.
Treating him good. Does Jason still wear your old glasses?
Not anymore.
Autumn, that is fan-freaking-tastic. You are amazing that you even remember that.
I finally got my own.
Yeah, he wore my old freaking,
For like 6 years?
Yeah, they're nice glasses, but they weren't your fucking prescription.
No. Like I can see better than without them.
I love that she remembered that. That's so cool.
Funny.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Are we going to watch Celebrity Big Brother?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So we're going to shut it down for the night. I so much enjoyed talking trash with you all tonight. Let me know if we should do it again. Don't forget, I do save these lives on the feed, so if you came in late or anything like that, you can watch it back, but be sure to give it a like. Make sure you're subscribed, comment what you would like to see for the next YouTube live we do. Squeeze my husband's butt right now, in case you're wondering why he has a little smile on his face.
It's a warm hand, too.
It is a warm
I
hand.
appreciate the warm hand.
Jeez, you should have been hugging me this whole live. This feels good. Nothing like a good hug, you know? We have some epic hugs. They don't happen all the time, but we have some good hugs.
We do have some good hugs.
I'm such a loser. All right. I hope you guys have a great night. We won't wake the baby, but more baby justice to come. Make sure you're watching over on Jason's channel at Jason Corey. He's got all the squad bonding going on over there.
We need to hit $250,000. We're like 5,000 away
That's so cool.
from $250,000. So everyone go subscribe.
Go subscribe.
But watch the videos too.
Yeah,
or don't subscribe.
All right, guys, we're going to end this here. Have a great night. And let's see what happens to Brittany Dawn and the bone.